Hey everybody, welcome to the garden. I hope you're having a great day. Shout out to the lemon and lime lovers and everybody in between. It's time for the crypto market recap. Let's hop into these charts, see what the story is and what it may be. And remember, if you're interested in any of the services I provide, please check the links in the description below for both the Patreon and Discord. Okay, so we're going to start with Luna. All right, we're going to start with Luna. So, if you remember, we are long Luna. We're currently in the red, because we caught pretty much the bottom of this candle here, this really large candle. I'm watching it. I'm watching it very closely. We have very little exposure to Luna. It's about 5% of the account. And I'm debating whether or not I want to add on here. What's stopping me is, well, if you are aware what's going on with Terra Luna and their stable coin, the UST coin, they're currently attempting to rebalance it, so that's forcing them to liquidate some of their Bitcoin holdings and probably sell some Luna and stuff like that to try and get the liquidity back on UST to bring it back up to pegging it to the dollar, right? Because right now it's at like 90 cents to the dollar, which is not good if you're trying to be a stable coin that's pegged to the dollar. So Luna is getting, really, really, really a lot of pressure to the downside. And that's really the only thing that's stopping me from adding on here. I I do have a bit of a cutoff at $20. I don't have a stop loss on the books. I don't really do that, but I do have a general area that I post when I give you my alerts, the stop losses, and that's really my general area where if it gets to these prices, I'll look to close out in a loss. Um, and for Luna, it's about $20, and off a 5% position, risking about 50% of the 5%, so 2.5% risk for the account, I don't mind taking that loss. Okay, so I am debating about adding on here just because this support level is pretty powerful. Okay, it's a very powerful level, but with that fundamental issue that's going on with Luna, I mean, it's nothing. There's nothing really stopping it from going lower and then under $20. Um, yeah. So I have not made my decision yet. I may add on here. Okay. Like I said, we have a 5% exposure. If I decide to add on, it's not going to be more than 3%. Okay. So it's either going to be a 2% to 3% add on. That way, the total will either be 7 or 8% for the account. Again, I don't mind taking anywhere from a 2 to 4.5% overall count loss. So, this is why I emphasize all the time position sizing is king. You can have the best strategy in the world. It doesn't matter if your position sizing, your risk management is trash, you will end up in the trash. Okay? That's all that matters. Because events like these, though they may feel rare, which they sort of are, they happen. And when they happen and you have bad risk management, all it takes is one time. All it takes is one time. You can have 1,000 good trades, make you a millionaire. And if you have no risk management and you put your money up every time, all it takes is one time for you to lose your million and you are back working at Burger King. Okay? So that's my advice to you. This is why this move right here does not bother me at all. It is what it is, and I'm not worried about it. And it's why I was able to buy this sort of candle without much fear. No fear, really. My only fear was like I didn't put in enough. Okay, because earlier today when I saw Luna bouncing up higher, I was actually more worried. Like, wow, I should have maybe overexposed the account just a little bit more instead of a 2% and then another add-on 3% or something like that. I should have maybe done 5 and 5. I was getting that confident. Thankfully I didn't. Thankfully I was able to withstand my greed. Okay, and this is exactly why. It's another reminder for myself as to why you just want to stick with the plan. Okay, don't increase the edge when you don't have to, when it's incorrect to. And now I'm in a really good position. I'm in a good position. Do I want to add on here, okay, to bring our average entry far lower than it is, and we're not even that deep in the red considering where we could have bought, or do I just want to take a minor loss, 2.5%? So if you're following me in these trades, please, please, I'm not telling you to follow my risk management, to a T. I know we don't have the same account sizes, but you want to at least have some sort of system in place and use my system as a roadmap. Okay, because if you put in 25% and 25%, and I'm talking about letting it play out and closing under or at $20, well, for you that could be a much bigger loss. So I want you to please, 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 uh, keep in line your risk. And I can promise you, in the long run, if you follow my strategy, the closer you follow my strategy, the more money you're going to make consistently. Okay, because I'm not here promising you quick riches. That's not how it works for me. I mean, I'm sure there's people out there that say they can do it. I've lasted over 10 years. Okay, so that's my claim to fame. I've survived over 10 years, and I consistently make money every year. All right, I there's plenty of boom bust traders out there that will show you they've made thousands of percent, this month, that month, this year, and then the next 3 4 years they're nobodies. All right, so that's what I'm telling you is consistency, and the only way I know how to be consistent is not a strategy, it's not buying supports and resistance. The key factor is the risk management strategy I show. All right. So with Luna, by the time this video comes out, if I have not given an alert about adding on to Luna, I probably won't add on to it. All right. I won't say probably. I will not be adding on to it, and $20 will be the cutoff. I will let you know once I close the trade immediately on the Discord. Okay. And we'll see. We'll see. We'll give it some time. It's possible it could continually find the support here, and try and slow down and maybe make its way back up. Because I will say with Luna, the snapback effect is going to be massive. It's going to be massive. Okay, you're going to see a 30, 40, 50, 60% candle. I'm not promising it's going to hold those gains for the day, but you'll see a big move and maybe like a big sell. But it's going to be a massive snapback, massive. All right, so that's it for Luna. I just really want to focus on Luna just because of, I mean, it's a historic move, right? It's an historic move for Luna specifically, and it's not a move you see often. All right, so let's go over the other positions we're currently in, and then we'll call it a day. So let's start with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin also long here, and on support, a major support, 30,000. Been saying 30,000 is going to act as major support, and we had a small pierce to 29.7. And again, it performed exactly as expected. Okay, we knew that the macro pattern was bearish, very clear. Okay, gets the breakdown, and what I've been saying is I wanted that flush down, right? If you hear me in the other videos, I'm saying I want a hard flush down, multiple red days in a row. We had what, 3, 4, 5 red days in a row. We're working on the 6th. We'll see if we close green. Okay, that's what I wanted to see as we come to major resistance, because when that happens, the probabilities are highest for a pretty large snapback. All right, you get a nice snapback, a nice little pop to a nice resistance level. In this case might be 33,000. Maybe it did it. Okay, it did get really close. We have to see. Got as high as 32,665. So maybe that was the move, and we're going to continue lower. It's unlikely. It is unlikely. Okay, it's more likely that if we're gonna start consolidating, we're gonna start consolidating towards the upside like this. Okay, so if we're gonna continue the bearish move, let me clean this up. If we're gonna continue the bearish move, you'll see the consolidation like this. Okay, it'll consolidate like this and then eventually break down. So that may happen for a couple of days. One of the reasons why I don't see this happening is for tomorrow is the CPI data. Okay, it's the CPI numbers tomorrow, and if we start showing any signs of inflation topping, okay, if signs of inflation are topping, you will see a pretty bullish reaction to that. All right, I have no doubts that the Fed will probably continue hawkish. They'll continue to deleverage themselves, and they haven't even started, hitting their books. That'll start in June, but either way, if we do start seeing some topping signs for the inflation for tomorrow, I think the markets will likely take that as a very positive sign. They'll likely see that as a light in the tunnel, and we might see a nice pop into Bitcoin, because the Nasdaq, the growth stocks, the tech stocks will get a nice breather, nice relief bounce. Okay, so we'll watch. It depends on how this daily candle closes. About 3 hours. So if it closes like this, then I see more upside like that, and then towards 33,000. If we can break past 33,000, very likely going to make it to this blue line over the next day or two, which is about 34 to 36,000. It depends on how fast or slow it takes to get here. And you'll probably find some resistance here. And if it starts painting a bullish consolidation, what I would tell you is you want to start targeting a breakout towards the orange line. All right. Again, we're road mapping what's not there. Okay, we're just going over what's possible, and we could determine what's most probable. What's most probable is we have a slowdown here. Okay, and the direction of that slowdown, I don't know yet. Could be sideways, could veer to the upside if it's going to be bearish, and it could even start veering to the downside if it wants to start painting a bullish wedge like this. Okay, which would make us more probable to move to the upside. All right, but either way, it's holding the exact zone of support we've been eyeing for well over 2 months now. So again, if you're in this group and you've been following my videos, following my calls, listening to me talk, this should not be surprising. Okay, there's no surprise here. It's exactly as expected so far. All right, and let's take a look at Avalanche. Okay, so Avalanche, yeah, so Avalanche, pretty cool chart. Coming into, so I actually pulled this line down. Okay, I pulled this line down farther, so we could see where it may touch. It got very close, nearly pretty much kissed the zone. Didn't get to tap the line. And we'll see if it's going to have more upside. Avalanche had a really nice day candle, but so far it's getting some selling. Whether it's profit taking or just a reversal, again we'll find out. But very similar to all of crypto, Bitcoin, massive selling, very very little signs of rest. Just came right into the significant support, and now it's likely going to start showing signs of exhaustion, and we'll see. Will that translate into a bullish pattern possibly forming that veers to the downside like a wedge, or will that exhaustion translate into a continuation pattern of the trend which will veer upside like a bear flag? We have to give it time. My opinion, we'll see it come up, most likely back towards $50. Okay, back towards $50 and maybe even higher towards $55. That's kind of what I'm eyeing right now. I want to get as close to 53 as possible, and then I'll start thinking about possibly closing out the long. Okay, but other than that, I mean, it's been pretty cool to watch. I like Avalanche's chart. Like I said, it was so likely to break under $50 just based off of this structure here, and I still think it goes much lower, by the way. But I do see a relief bounce coming towards $50 to $55. All right, and let's take a look at Ethereum. I'm watching Luna. Luna's about to break 20. All right, and let's see. So yeah, Ethereum. Look, right into this pretty strong support zone, 2,300. I think it's destined to break under 2,000. Whether that happens right now, we have to give it time, possibly. But if I see a bounce in Bitcoin, I do see a bounce in Ethereum, and the bounce on Ethereum I actually think will be probably a bit more stunted compared to Bitcoin. Compared to the other altcoins, not compared to Bitcoin, probably will go only towards 2,500. I would be pretty surprised if we actually can make it all the way back to 2,800. It's not impossible. Depends on how significant any bounce that does possibly happen in Bitcoin. Depends how it happens. It is possible. I just don't see that right now. I have to give this more time to populate some price action. Give it some time. But it is into major support, at least in this zone here. All right. So if you're long here, again, we're okay. And if it does go lower, we have our add-on levels already. I'll be eyeing anywhere from 2,000. 2,000 would be pretty interesting, and then 1,800 for sure. All right. Let's see. Let's go to Solana. That one's next. So Solana, I pulled this down too as well. We had this drawn from we had this drawn since the beginning of the year, really. So from February to March. So we had this drawn from March. I remember we were eyeing this for our long, which it did eventually break out like we thought it would. And so I pulled it further down to show that, look, these trend lines are still they're still, you know, useful. They're still valid, right? It still shows that there's interaction here. Okay, it doesn't mean it's going to be major and last forever. The idea is it can give you an idea of where price will get to before you start seeing stall outs. So when you get a big drastic move in a direction and you start coming into a support or resistance, well, you know, you're probably going to see some interaction there. And so far we are. You know, Solana came right into it. Looks like it tapped it, and now it almost made it all the way back to 75 prior to it selling off later in the day today. We'll see if it could actually close in the green and then try and continue up again. All right, because if it does, 75 is not a bad place for where it will start basing out, topping out again, or back towards $80, $82. Again, that would be very dependent on Bitcoin. You know, will Bitcoin have a significant bounce higher? You know, the more significant bounce on Bitcoin, and the more prolonged it is, the stronger these altcoins will bounce. Okay. Let's take a look at Polka Dot. I think that's that had a really nice bounce. So it came right into our support at like $10.35, $10.37, and immediately respected it. And now, you know, again, very similar to all the other coins. Very similar chart for everyone. You know, everyone super oversold, and now we're either going to see sideways consolidation, upside consolidation that's going to make it more probable to be bearish, or downside consolidation, which will make it more probable to be bullish. The sideways consolidation, depending on the price action, will have a bearish bias just because of the overall structure. Okay, you have to keep that in mind. And the sideways structure will depend more on time as well. I do want to touch on this very, very quickly. Timing in the market. So being able to read time in the candles, most traders can't do that. That's where my edge is for the most part. You'll have a lot of indicators that try to do it. They do it wrong. It's the reason why for most traders support and resistance don't work. They don't understand time. They don't know how to read it. And they don't understand that timing is the most important aspect of charting. Okay, it's not the most important aspect of trading. It's the most important aspect of charting and analysis. Everything else has its place, but time is the most important aspect of charting and analysis. And analysis is not trading. Okay, analysis is not execution. Execution is risk management. See, and that's where, in my opinion, I differ from many other people. They can't separate that. They don't even know that that is separate. And that's why, in most cases, they won't last 10 years. They'll do good 1, 2, 3, 4 years, and then they're going to blow up, or they're going to get tired, and they're going to stop. Okay? All right. So that's all I'm going to go over with for now. Again, with Luna, I'm going to be observing it. If it does start breaking under 20, I will likely close out. Okay? Unless of course, you get an alert from me prior to seeing this video of me adding on, and if I do, probably is going to have a $10 stop. But again, I don't think so. As of right now, I'm more comfortable just letting it play out. And if it hits $20, goes under $20, I'll close out for that loss. Okay? And we were owed a loss anyway. I mean, I think this would be our first loss in crypto since we started the service. So we're definitely owed the loss. And if you are in this trade with me, you know, my apologies. I'm sorry that it's played out this way so far. If you don't want to follow me closing it out, again, this is not a bad level to possibly add on. Just be careful with your risk. Okay? Please be careful with your risk. If you control your risk and you just take high probability trades as I do, you will make money. I can promise you that. You will make money. All right. So everyone, remember, be patient, be vigilant, and be nimble. Love you guys. Take care.